Good evening. We're going to continue with Unit 4, Fractions, with Lesson 2, Decompose fractions into a sum of unit fractions. Okay, so here we have a tape diagram that's been shaded in, and it's asking what amount is shaded. Well, we know that there are two pieces that have been colored in, but how many are not colored in? Another two. So it's out of four. So it's been cut up into four pieces. So that is the denominator. And how many are colored in is two. So 2/4 of this tape diagram has been shaded in. But if we want to decompose this and use unit form, we would do 1/4 plus 1/4. This is 1/4, and this is 1/4, which would gives us 2/4. Another way of doing this would be a tape diagram. Excuse me, a number bond. So we have 2/4 here, and then 1/4 here, and then another 1/4 here. How would it change if we now wanted to make the total 3/4 and we added on another shade? What would it look like right then? Well, it could be decomposed as 2/4, and you add on your extra fourth to 1/4. You could have this also 3/4 and decompose it as just 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. There are different possibilities of getting the sum of that fraction. How can you write 5/6 as a sum of unit fractions? Well, you can go 5/6 is equal to 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. That all decomposes down to 5/6. You can also show this through a tape diagram and showing that this whole thing right here is going to equal to one whole, but we are going to break it up into sixths. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so how many do we have colored in? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the 6 is shaded in, 5/6. So there's so many different possibilities of doing this. If we wanted to show 6/5, let's say if we just reversed it, 6/5, and we wanted to decompose that, we could do a 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, and that would give me 5/5. But we have this extra, so we need to show that this extra one is added on to our group to show 6/5. So what I just showed you are fractions greater than 1. Another name for them, well, when I was younger, they used to call them improper fractions. They're fractions that are kind of misbehaving. Usually you're not going to have a numerator that's bigger than your denominator. Your numerator is 6 and your denominator is 5. Not going to usually have that. But when we do 6/5 to represent that, we would show that this section right here is representing 5/5. But then we have a fraction that's greater than 1. You have this extra fraction right here, and that would be your extra 1/5. So 5/5 plus that one extra fifth is going to give us 6/5. That's why it's greater than 1, because you're past this part that represents one whole. This section right here represents one whole, but we're going to go up one higher to make it an improper fraction of 6/5. All right, we have an improper fraction, or a fraction greater than 1, called 5/3. The numerator has a bigger number than the denominator. So how can we represent this fraction greater than 1? How could we show it? Well, we could actually show a tape diagram, and this has been cut up into 5 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then we have an extra one here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now how much are colored in would be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this, my friends, would represent 5/3. Now, if we wanted to show this through a number line, okay, we're going to start off with that 0, but we don't count it. And in the middle here, we have a 1 whole, and then we get another whole here of 2, because it's greater than 1. So now we have to put those little tick marks, because we're breaking it up into thirds. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now where would 5/3 go? Well, we have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Remember I said when the numerator and the denominator are the same, it equals 1 whole. Then we have 4/3, and there it is. There is 5/3 on the number line. So these are different ways of showing this, of 5/3. We could actually now show it as a equation. 5/3 is equal to 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That would give us 3/3. That would be a whole. And then we can add on the extra 2/3 to give us 5/3. 4 out of 3 people have trouble with fractions. What would that look like? 4 out of 3, 4/3, fraction greater than 1, or what I used to call an improper fraction. Please show a number line or a tape diagram for 4/3, and I want to see your work tomorrow. Please bring in that work tomorrow. I want to see it. What is the correct equation for the 4/3? A, 4/3 is equal to 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. 4/3 is equal to 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. Or C, 4/3 is equal to 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/3. Or D, 4/3 is equal to 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/3. Choose the correct answer to match 4/3. And I want to see those tape diagrams or your number lines. Okay, last one. Please show a tape diagram or a number line for 5/2, and I want to see your work tomorrow. Choose the 5/2, which would represent 5/2. Choose A, B, C, or D. Now, this is my kind of fractions. Give me a slice.